Well, this is the final NFL game for the Browns. So, are we going to win? No, but let's talk about it anyway. All right, welcome back to Browns Breakdowns. We are using the normal music again. Christmas season is over, so back to the normal music. So, the Browns are playing the Ravens now here against the in the final game of the NFL season. It's weird to say that the NFL season is over. That is really weird because it's been 18 weeks of NFL play. But this is the final week of the NFL season. After this, it's over, and so we will see what happens. But yeah, final game against of the NFL season here against the Ravens. It will be at 4:30, January 4th, Saturday. It's a Saturday game. I'm recording this on Saturday, but it is kind of crazy just to see the NFL season over. Now, if the Ravens win, they lock up the AFC North, as well as getting obviously the playoff spot. If they lose, then that changes things, and people like the Steelers and other teams can snatch a playoff spot. So we kind of don't want them to win, but we want the Browns to lose, basically. We really do not want the Browns to win, because if they win, we completely screw up our draft picks, and everything is basically just completely ruined. So we do not want the Browns to win realistically. So before we talk about anything more, let's talk about who we do want to win, and that's Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Referral code right there. If you use that, we get 15%. So greatest coffee you'll ever have. As I've said multiple times before, you will not be disappointed. It will be amazing. You can maybe, like I said, early Valentine's Day present if you're buying Valentine's Day presents on the 4th of January. I don't know. But yeah, great coffee. So totally check them out. If you use that referral code that we pointed to right here, we get 15%. Like, I can't hear my music. It's playing, just is extremely quiet. So let's talk about the injury report really quickly. This is a little weird because some people probably aren't. So Jerome Ford, running back, we all know him. Ankle injury, DNP all 3 days, he's out. Jordan Hicks, linebacker, concussion, DNP all 3 days, he's out. Jerry Jeudy, no. Cameron Mitchell is questionable with a knee injury. David Njoku is out with a knee injury. Ogbania Okoronkwo is limited all 3 days, questionable with a knee injury. Lots of knee injuries. Concussion for Pierre Strong. He's DNP on all 3 days. He's out. Dalvin Tomlinson is out with a knee injury. Denzel Ward is out with a shoulder injury. Blake Whiteheart is questionable with a knee injury. James Winston's questionable right shoulder. And Mike Woods, another knee injury, questionable. Lots of knee injuries for some reason. This is for the Ravens now. Jalen Armour Davis, DNP on Tuesday, limited Wednesday, Thursday, is out with a hamstring. He's a cornerback. Justice Hill, the running back, concussion/illness, DNP all 3 days, he's out. Charlie Kolar, tight end, forearm injury. Full practice all 3 days. He's questionable. He'll probably play. And then Patrick McCarry, offensive tackle, illness, DNP Tuesday, Wednesday, limited on Thursday. He is questionable. So we'll see what the Browns... it probably won't change a whole lot because they don't have their big players injured. But I guess it could maybe, in theory, change the game. But honestly, I don't think it's actually going to make any difference between if the Browns lose by 21 points or lose by 17 points, right? It's not exactly changing a whole lot, the injury report. So that's your injury report. The Browns are, I think they're like 20-point underdogs or something, 18-point underdogs. It's bad, unfortunately, because simply we suck. The Ravens don't suck. Turning down my brightness a little bit. The Browns suck. The Ravens don't suck. The Ravens are quite good. I don't think they're going to make it too terribly far in the playoffs, but again, they still are going to probably win the division. So don't expect a whole lot going on in this game. Now, of course, the Browns have beat the Ravens once. Doesn't matter because, we really don't want them to win. I know a win is always a win, but this win would completely ruin the Browns' season. because it would make this team, who already is terrible, get like the 8th or 9th pick, going from the third pick to like 8 or 9, which is really bad. In case you're wondering, you do not want to go that low, especially with how top heavy this draft is. So it would be pretty disappointing to see if the Browns won. I don't think they are, but you never really know in the NFL. So let's talk about something else. Crap, I can't think. Oh, future of what? Sorry, Alexa, cancel. My Alexa started talking to me for some reason. I don't know how she managed to. I was weird. Yeah. So apologies. Apparently, Alexa wants to get on the conversation. So anyway, let's talk about Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett future. So future of Nick Chubb, I think, is much more uncertain than Myles Garrett. The reason I think that is Nick Chubb is in a much more physically intensive position. He has had multiple season-ending knee injuries. He just had another one. It wasn't knee, but he had just had another season-ending injury. This is his second season in a row with season-ending injuries. He didn't even play most of last year, barely played any of this year because he was hurt for all of it from the knee, and then got hurt again like 3 weeks later. I think the Browns want him back, but I think the Browns realize it's probably a poor business decision because, unfortunately, Nick Chubb just can't stay healthy. And if you're going to pay him how much he's probably going to want, which isn't a terribly a lot, but if you're going to pay him, you want your running back to stay healthy. And again, the running back position is shifting. I think people are realizing, wait a second, let's just draft someone 3rd or 4th round out of a decent team, pick up a 3rd or 4th round running back, pay him $2 million a year over 3-4 years, and then just cut him and drop him and draft a new one 4 years later and get pretty similar numbers, right? Like a rookie running back is still going to get 850 yards, and then the next year you might get 900, 950, 1,000. If you can just get 800 yards a season for 4 years, that's really good. And I think the running back position is becoming, let's just draft a running back in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, right? Someone who's still going to be pretty good, but not great. Let's keep him for 3 or 4 years, pay him $1 to $3 million a year, even less sometimes, and then get 4 years of great young play. And then if he's super good, then we can keep him for another 4 years. And if not, you just drop him. Some other team will pick him up, and you just draft a new running back at the 5th round, pay him another $1.5 million a year, and do it over and over again. The era of paying running backs isn't over, but I think it's starting to end. Now, what that is going to look like, I'm not sure, because I think that is probably the best way, because again, the running back position is one of the, if not the most physically intensive positions in the entire NFL, with what happens to you because of how hard it is on your body and all the tackles you have to endure and everything that happens to you. It is extremely hard on a human body, and it causes a million injuries, right? We've seen it now with Nick Chubb. He can't stay healthy because now, of course, some things are a little worse than others, like that injury in Pittsburgh, but that wasn't even his fault. It's simply become Nick Chubb just can't stay healthy. I don't think it's a good business decision for the Browns. Do I want him back? Absolutely, but I don't think it's a good business decision. Speaking of business, let's do the advertisements really quickly, so we will be right back. And we're back here on Browns Breakdowns, proud partners of Fanatical Elves Network. We will be talking now about Myles Garrett. I can't seem to remember his name for some reason. So Myles Garrett, what's the future with him? I think he's coming back. He loves the Browns. He wants to be back, right? He wants to be part of the Browns forever. He is now again. He is amazing, and the defensive end position is not as easily replaceable as running back. He is one of the best. I think if the Browns decide to draft someone like Abdul Carter, who I think they should, especially considering I assume it's going to go Travis Hunter to Patriots, and then the Titans are going to pick Shedeur Sanders because they probably need a quarterback. If not, again, I still don't think Abdul Carter is going to go number 2. The Browns are going to get Abdul Carter, and Abdul Carter is an amazing edge. He is probably the best edge in the entire draft. And so I do think the Browns are going to be looking at that. If you can have Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett on each side of the defensive line, you will have a devastating defensive end combo, because Abdul Carter is going to be one of those players who comes in and is going to be an influence player immediately, hopefully at least. But right now, what you need to look at is, yes, bring back Myles Garrett. He wants to come back. He's not going to be cheap, but he wants to come back, and you might be able to wiggle out a little bit of a hometown discount. He might want to come back. He, even with how bad the team has been, he still likes this place, and it's his home. He's the face of the franchise, right? So, and again, I think a Abdul Carter, Myles Garrett edge tandem would be just disgusting. Abdul Carter's not going to be super crazy year 1 and year 2, but he's going to be really good. And I think that could be a huge piece to the defense, adding another edge, allowing you to focus more on defensive tackle and offensive positions now that you've filled edge. But who knows what the Browns do in the draft again. But I think Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett want to come back. I just don't know if Nick Chubb is going to come back, and I think Myles Garrett is going to come back. It's not going to be cheap to bring back Myles Garrett. Like I said, he's going to be wanting a lot of money. He should. He should want money. It's a very lucrative position, and he is very good at the position, so it is worth it to get money. And we'll see what he ends up doing. We'll see what the Browns do. We have a bad cap situation, especially now with Watson. We've had a bad cap situation for a while now, but how that is going to affect everything, I'm not sure. The Browns have good cap analysts, so does every NFL team. They know exactly how the cap works and how to wiggle out of basically any situation. We've seen it with the Cowboys. We've seen it with every team. Every team now knows how to perfectly wiggle out of basically anything going on in the cap. So hopefully the Browns bring them both back. I'm just not exactly high on it. So let's quickly talk about the draft. Like I said there, Abdul Carter, I think, is probably who the Browns are going to want. The big board for now, this is just pulling up. No, not the NBA. The big board for the NFL right now. This is PFF again. They have Travis Hunter still as 1. Actually, let's just go to ESPN, because ESPN is a day ago. So this is updated. ESPN does have Abdul Carter as the number 1 overall available pick. Do I think the Patriots are going to go for him? No. I personally think the Patriots are going to be looking at a Travis Hunter, because I think he is the best player in the draft. Now, Abdul Carter is really good. I don't think he's going to go number 2. I think someone like a Shedeur Sanders is probably going to end up going to the Titans at number 2. I think Abdul Carter is going to fall to 3. No matter what situation, in theory, you could get really unlucky and have Abdul Carter get picked 1 and then Travis Hunter get picked 2, or vice versa. That would be quite disappointing. I would be disappointed if Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter end up flipping and it goes 1-2, Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, and you get neither. That would suck. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Abdul Carter is your best bet. He is amazing. He will be a great player on your team. He is just so good. Travis Hunter would be nice. I don't think we're going to get him. Mason Graham out of Michigan is very, very good. Again, he is a defensive tackle. He is really good. He could be a great player on your defense, especially with the necessity of defensive tackle for your team. He could be amazing. Like if Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter go 1-2, Mason Graham would be a great bet. He is very, very good. There's also people like Mikel Williams, who's also really good, from Georgia, edge. Nick Scorton from A&M is also a good edge. James Pierce Jr. is also a very good edge. All these guys are great. I think, though, if you're gonna want Abdul Carter. That's me. Personally, I think Abdul Carter is the best player for the Browns. I think Mason Graham could be a really good pick, though. If Mason Graham is what you have to settle on, that's perfectly fine with me. He's amazing. He is a great defensive tackle. I think he could be influence immediately right off the board onto your team. We need defensive tackle. So I think Mason Graham is a great pick if Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, you're not able to draft them. Anyway, I hope the Browns don't win. Well, that's what we need. We need the Browns not to win. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I really have for you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope everyone enjoys your day. So I will talk to you guys on the 8th of January for the final review episode of the NFL season. I will talk more about what my off-season schedule will look like. It'll be a little weird, but I will talk more about that on the 8th. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Oh man, misclicked.